Next up, we have Carnage by DuoCore. My understanding is that this is a duo project including Extrulor and Adam Coops featured in Geometry Dash. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. Alan Coops. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, at the time of recording this, we just hit 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much for it. I'm not expecting to make it this fast, so thank you for being here. Challenge for this year: if we somehow hit 10,000 before Christmas organically, no botting, no dupe accounts, let's do this legit. If we hit 10,000 before Christmas 2025, I will make a fully produced, fully voice acted audiobook of whatever fan fiction the community picks. One fan fiction, whatever y'all pick, we'll make it happen. So there's that. And of course, members get early access to all the content. So if you are a paid member on YouTube, you will get access to the videos when they are scheduled, because I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays. So if you're a member, you get to watch all of them starting Saturdays instead of having to wait for all the things. Two disclaimers on top of this. Number one, this is my first time hearing this ever, so I will be pausing a lot and I will be speaking a lot, as I will be pointing things out and explaining things as I hear them or as I realize them. And number two, this is recorded live on stream on a single take. I already stumbled upon my words. I will do it again. Whatever happens, happens. With that being said, let's do this. Carnage. And yes, come on. Okay, I like this. I'm gonna go back a couple of seconds. So Romasita, welcome today. How you doing? So we start with a very fun beat that kind of reminds me of reggae. Like the beat itself, the way it's syncopated, is a little bit like reggae, the way that it is, which is with syncopation. We're having the on beats being done by the bass drum and the snare, and then the upbeats being done by the other one. So what is an upbeat? What is a downbeat? Not reggaeton. Yeah, no, reggaeton and reggae, two very, very different genres. Reggae is Bob Marley, the really, really cool, very nice and very lovely, very happy, hippie kind of music, and reggaeton is just a symptom as to why Latin America is not going to make it. So let's go back into the concept of rhythm, right? Because when you're making music, you have three main components: melody, harmony, rhythm. When it comes to rhythm, rhythm is the use of time. How fast, how slow things happen, the beat, when things happen, all that kind of stuff. And we then subdivide time into what is called bars or measures. These are interchangeable terms. Both of them are correct. And the way you then do these is by using a time signature. Time signature is made out of two numbers: upper number, lower number. So upper number is going to be the number of beats. The lower number is going to be the type of beats. In English, it's pretty easy to remember which beat is which. Whole note is represented by number 1, half note by number 2, quarter note by number 4, eighth note by number 8, 16th note by number 16, so on and so forth. To make a note, one whole note contains two half notes, one half note contains two quarter notes, one quarter note, two eighth notes, so on and so forth. So in a 4/4 bar, you're going to have 4 quarter notes as your beat or as your tempo. So 4/4 bars, 4/4 for quarter notes, here we go, and each of them is going to be counted numbers 1 through 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So anything that happens here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, anything that happens on these is going to be called on beat. Anything that happens outside of it is going to be either off beat or syncopated with syncopation. So the way we are doing this right now is that the individual on beats, those are being hit by the bass drum or the snare. Zelmek, welcome today, man. Hell yeah. Go ahead, man. And then if we then follow the rules of, okay, one quarter note contains two eighth notes, then between every quarter note, there's going to be an eighth note just being here connected to each quarter note over here. And these are going to be eighth notes in between, which then are going to be symbolized by the symbol of an. So the way that is going to work, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is quarter notes. Eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Same amount of time, we're just putting more notes in between. So anything now that is hitting on the an instead of the numbers is going to be called offbeat. And in a more extrapolated sense, if you slow this down a lot, you get reggae. And right now, we're just getting this really cool bouncing back and forth rhythm. Megumi, welcome today. How you doing? So yeah, let's see where this goes. Very cool. Just hitting the bass drum there. Vocal sample in the back. Synth and... And now we get a new rhythm introduced with the bass. We have a bass synth giving us a new rhythm with which I'm going to call our rhythmic motif, because there's not much of a melody here, and once again, motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. However, usually that is a melody, some sort of melody with some sort of rhythm. In this case, we're only getting one note, so I'm going to be saying that this is not so much the melody as it is the rhythm. And in this case, because it's a motif that is in the rhythm, a rhythmic motif. Let's see how it goes. Speeding up the drums. Ooh, and we drop the beat. And there you go. There's the rhythmic motif being represented. Now we take the dropping off the beat, which that was a really fun drop, and we're taking that a similar rhythm to what we just heard from that bass, and we're just applying it to other synths. We're just giving it to different instruments, to different layers. We are still using that same rhythm, except now we're just moving it between other instruments. Our rhythmic motif is being developed. Let's see where this goes. Awesome. Triplets over there. Very nice. Nice. There's the rhythmic motif. In another synth. Now it's on the top. And we are using a lot of triplets over here. So if we go back to the concept of the time signature, right? We have the time signature with the eighth notes, right? Let's say we make this over here. Let's add two more over here. And here we go. So if we go back to these are what we be called straight eighth notes. However, there is a concept called tupleting. For tuplets, in which you force additional notes in the same amount of time. The most famous one is the triplet. And the most famous of the triplets is the eighth note, not ninth, eighth note triplet. In which it means instead of playing two eighth notes, once again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, instead of playing two eighth notes, we play 3 on that same time. So the way it's going to look is instead of playing two eighth notes on the space of two eighth notes, we're going to play 3 eighth notes on the space of 2 eighth notes. So this is how it's going to look, and this is then going to be symbolized by the number 3 over here. And then instead of having the number and the an, you're going to have the number first ta, second ta. So the way it's going to sound, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that is straight eighth notes. Then if we switch those to the triplets, 1 ta ta, 2 ta ta, 3 ta ta, 4 ta ta. So it gives you this very smooth acceleration to your rhythm, and if you start combining them, you can get some really, really, really fun combinations. You know, if we alternate straight, like one beat of straight, one beat of triplet, one beat of straight, one beat of triplet, 1 and 2 ta-ta, 3 and 4 ta-ta, 1 and 2 ta-ta, 3 and 4 ta-ta. So you can really mix and match. You can do this in so many other ways, and right now we're doing that over here. There are times where we are getting polyrhythms, rhythms in the beat, which is we are fighting rhythm against rhythm. The drum and the drum and the bass is still doing those straight eighth notes, that tum pa tum pa tum pa tum pa. We're still getting that, but now the other synths are speeding up in the drop with triplets, giving us those weird moments where it's kind of off base, like they feel like they're not fully synchronized, but they kind of are in their own ways, getting these polyrhythms. So, what is the most cursed nested tuplet I've ever seen? I would say Chopin's impromptu. What's the full name of this one? Impromptu Fantasy in C sharp, I think it is. Let me double check because I have it here somewhere. It is the impromptu. The calm part has a 7/7 split, and it is. Let me see, where the hell is this? I put this here somewhere. Fantasy impromptu in C sharp. In C sharp minor. And when it slows down, there is a triplet. So there's three notes against 7. And it's, oh my god, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Aska, welcome today. Yes, requests are not open just yet. But yeah, Fantasy Impromptu, that one also has a lot. Has also a lot of polyrhythms. So it's Fantasy Impromptu in C sharp minor by Frédéric Chopin. An insane piece that from the start it has a polyrhythm of triplets on one hand, straight 16th notes on the other, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece. It's like 5 minutes long, and it's insane. It's insane. It goes to show why Chopin was so mentally unstable. But yeah, no, going back to this concept, yeah, we're having triplets, and it's accelerating, and we are still using that rhythmic motif. So let's see where this goes. Welcome back, Nadia. Okay, we take it back. And off the ramp we go. So, off the ramp is a colloquial term that I use. By colloquial, I mean that there is no academic term for this, or at least I'm not using it for the sake of simplicity. Off the ramp is what I call a transition. It can be a couple of beats, it can be a full section, and the purpose of this is to make your listeners feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, kind of like going off the ramp, waiting to see where you land. How do you do that? Remove the drums. Maybe the bass as well. In this case, we removed the drums. Now we only have the offbeat synth that was playing before and the bass. Let's see where this goes. The bass is still keeping that. Okay, we bring the bass drum. And we drop the rhythm again. Oh, very cool. Still using that rhythmic motif. I really like what they're doing here, and this is something we have observed with Extruller before, that despite the fact that he's dropping the beat, he is still developing his motifs. So when it comes to music, you want a careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much repetition, too much of the same, you risk boring your listener, they tune out. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming your listener, they tune out. When it comes to electronic music, there is an exception though. There is one universal exception for every genre, and that is solos. If you put a solo, guitar, saxophone, violin, harmonica, triangle solo, you can get away with not having to revisit material. As long as it sounds cool, it sounds cool. Electronic music in general has an additional one, which is dropping the beat. When you drop the beat, you can do pretty much anything you want. However, what Extruller does, and we've observed this with some of the other tracks we've done from Extruller, is that he will still include his motif in the drop, and he will still develop it, and he will still use it. And in this case, he's just doing it. He's using that rhythmic motif, because a lot of the times dropping the beat is more of a rhythmic thing. So it looks like he got ahead of it, and from the beginning gave us a rhythmic motif that he would start then accelerating and using and reusing during the drops. Clever. So let's see where it goes. There's some of those triplets. How many does in the score? I have no idea. Similar drop to the first one, but very nice. Conceptually, we still have more or less the same. Off the ramp again. We now have another synth at the top giving us some arpeggios. Arpeggios is when you play a chord one note at a time, and that's what we're getting over here. Really fun. Really fun. Very well paced too. Let's see where it goes. Oh! Okay, so we completely changed the paradigm. We're no longer doing the offbeat synth, or at least not to the same extent. We're now doing a side-chained synth. So side-chaining is when your music kind of just stops, when everything stops, when the bass drum or the snare hits. Right now, the bass drum is playing, and yes, it just has to be video game music. So, let's see, and Ripper, welcome to today, how you doing? So yeah, now we're having this synth, and the way it works is basically whenever the drum hits, everything else gets faded away, like the volume knob gets turned down and then immediately turned back up. And what we're having right now with these other synths, which could be the same synths we've been using before, but now we are missing what is called the attack. The moment the chords strike, we are missing that, and then we're just fading it in when they go in. So if we were to visualize this, we would have the concept of, the note hits, and then we get, it hits, and then sounds. It hits, then sounds. But the way we're doing it now is that we are removing that first sound. So let's say... Yes, so the way we're doing is that we are muting that initial hit. So instead of getting hit and then sounds, we're just getting this fading up. And it's happening really fast. So it gives us this sense of undulation, almost like it's breathing. And yeah, let's see where it goes. Very beautiful. So you can feel, right? How it's like breathing back together. We're now exploring chords. And that rhythmic motif is now on the bass. That rhythmic motif is just now on the bass. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Let's see where it goes. Back to the first chord. And yes, Nightable, yes. Alright, we slowly start removing layers. We include now an acceleration. Off the ramp again. We bring back the upbeat. Bring in the motif. Bring it up for another drop. That was clever. I like it. So we took a variation of the rhythmic motif, we flipped it up from bottom to top to give us what is called rhythmic displacement. So, rhythmic displacement is what we just heard. Because when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You are building tension or you are resolving the tension. The This point in between we call a cadence. So rhythmic displacement is a really, really cool way of taking this moment of resolution, pushing it a little bit. How did we do this? We just ended up putting a version of the motif over here. And that silence, that implicit silence and that pushing back gives us a little bit more extra tension so that the resolution is even stronger. So let's see where this goes. We bring this back. I think we repeat from before. Okay. Yeah, I think this is very similar to the first dropping of the beat, which is still fun. Nothing wrong with repetition. Not yet, Zenjuma, not yet. Oh, really cool. You can hear those triplets accelerating the rhythm. And... ooh. And we have some of these synths engaging in what is called octave displacement. So octave displacement is what we heard over there. That synth that was doing the rhythmic motif, then immediately went up and then back down. That is octave displacement in a very, very simple way. Once again, when you're making music, we use what is called the chromatic scale, at least in the West, where A is tuned to 440 hertz, and we build the rest of it. It uses 12 tones. And out of those 12, you will pick 7. The 12 tones are all black and white keys in the keyboard, all 12 frets of the guitar, all of that stuff. So out of the chromatic scale, which is 12 tones, you pick 7, and those 7 become your scale. So for the sake of simplicity, we're just gonna write them in numbers, right? So numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those are your notes, your 7 notes of your scale. Then you go back to 1 in what is called the octave, and then it just repeats. It just repeats for as long as your instrument has range. So the way this works is that from 1 to 1, this is called an octave. 1 to 1, that is an octave. That 1 to 1 is an octave. So the way octave displacement works, let's say we have a... there is no live cue just yet. So the way this thing works over here, the way octave displacement works. Let's say we come in with a very simple melody. Our melody is note 1 to 2 to 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. The way octave displacement works is if we say, okay, we're going to do notes 1, 2, and 3, but we're going to start 1, then 2, then 3. Technically speaking, it's the same notes. We just displaced which octave this was happening. In Extruder's case, in DuoCore's case, is a lot simpler. It was just 1, bringing it up the way to 1, and then back down to 1. And that was it, right? But yeah, this is the concept of octave displacement. The best band I've seen use octave displacement is Polyphia. If you want an incredible example of octave displacement, listen to the track Goat. Goat by Polyphia. Let me just change this formatting for here. That was my computer. By Polyphia. In this track, the first repetition that we get, the first melody you hear in Goat by Polyphia is the melody. And after that, immediately when the guitar starts playing, it's the same melody just played with octave displacement. So, yes, classically, welcome today. How you doing? Oh, audio muted. Hi. All right, so yeah, let's see where this goes. Let's see how it ends. So yeah, you can hear that octave displacement. Still using that rhythmic motif. Nice. Oh, I love those triplets. Really cool. All right. We repeat it once again, and now we bring it back to just the drums. With that upbeat, offbeat, on beat. And how you gonna end it? That was a false ending. And We bring it one last tension, and we just ended it with one last beat. And there you go. Man, that was really fun. That was really fun. Like in technique wise, very straightforward, very simple executions of these concepts. But it's just so well done. Like I really like Extruller in that sense, that his music is so straightforward in so many ways. Like so many of the things he does are just so incredibly straightforward. But he just does them really well. It's really, really fun. It's really, really fun. There you go. That was Carnage by DuoCore. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here, musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Once again, thank you for 4,000 subscribers at the time of recording this. We recently passed it. I was not expecting to make it this fast, this far, this fast. So, thank you everybody for being here. Once again, challenge for this year. If we somehow hit 10,000 before Christmas, I will record, fully produce, fully voice act a fan fiction of the choice of the community. It has to be legit though. It has to be legit. Like no botting, no duping, none of that. It has to be legit. And yes, and of course, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Members get early access to the videos. So if you have a paid membership on YouTube, I schedule videos for the week on Saturdays. So if you are a paid member, you will get access to all of the week's videos starting Saturday. So consider that. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song, if you're on the live stream, you can go ahead and start requesting. And if you're not on the live stream, go to the Discord server, link down below. Go to the LFA requests channel and follow the instructions on the pinned message. And if you want to if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you're not in Europe, that's fine. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule, full schedule in your local time zone, linked in the description in both of Discord and Twitch. So if you're in, I don't know, Minnesota, you're like, oh, but what time is 6 p.m. Central European Time over here? No worries. Discord, Twitch, they both have the stream schedule showing in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel, because I'm on YouTube. Of course, I have a gaming channel. What else could I possibly hope to have? Games are Basterd. That's where we put the VOD recordings of the gaming after shows if they happen. So, yeah. Link down below, or just search on YouTube for the username. It's the same as James R. Basterd, just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you go. There you go. Carnage by DuoCore. That was really fun, man. That was really, really good. But yeah, let's move on this.